Have you ever felt like someone might like you, but you just weren't sure? Like there was something unspoken between you, a look, a smile, a moment, but it vanished before you could understand it? That silent confusion, that lingering doubt, can eat away at your confidence. It can make you question your worth. But what if I told you that the signs are there, right in front of you, hiding in everyday gestures, subtle glances, and quiet moments? Most men never learn to see them, not because they aren't smart or capable, but because they were never taught to read the hidden language of attraction. And that's exactly what you're about to uncover. You've been told to look for bold signals, direct words, obvious flirting, but that's not how most real feelings show up, especially when a woman is guarding her heart. She may smile without speaking, laugh a little too long, or glance in your direction just to look away again. She might be standing just a bit closer than she needs to be. These aren't accidents, they're clues, emotional breadcrumbs, small signals from a heart that's wondering if it's safe to open up to you. And unless you learn to recognize these signs, you'll keep missing the chances that could change everything. This isn't about chasing anyone. It's about seeing clearly, seeing what's already there, and more importantly, seeing yourself in a new light. Because when you begin to recognize the signs that someone likes you, something powerful happens. You stop second-guessing. You stop doubting your presence. You become aware, calm, present. You become the kind of man who moves with quiet confidence, not because he's trying to prove anything, but because he knows how to feel what's real. Most people spend their lives walking past connection. They don't see it. They don't hear it. They don't feel it. Not because it isn't there, but because they're stuck in their head. You're here because you're ready to change that. You're ready to feel what's beneath the surface. And once you do, once you understand the 11 gestures that silently scream, "I like you," you'll never look at connection the same way again. You're going to learn what it really means when she mirrors your movements, when her eyes linger, when she laughs around you for no reason. Each gesture you're about to discover is backed by real human psychology, deep instincts we all carry but rarely understand. And as you unlock these signs, you'll also unlock something else. The confidence to move forward, the courage to speak when the moment feels right, and the clarity to stop wondering if you're reading too much into it. This is your emotional advantage, your wake-up call, a way to stop guessing and start living in emotional truth. So don't look away. What you're about to learn might change the way you connect with women forever, and more than that, it might change the way you see yourself. Keep watching. Your clarity begins now. Sometimes the body speaks before the heart dares to. One of the clearest signs that a woman is secretly drawn to you is when she starts reflecting your energy without even realizing it. This isn't something she plans, it's not rehearsed, it's unconscious. It's her mind syncing with yours on a level she can't fully explain. If you cross your arms and she does the same a few moments later, if you lean back and she subtly follows, if you speak slowly and she mirrors your tone, she's not copying you to mock you, she's aligning. Her subconscious is saying, "I feel safe here, I feel understood," and that matters more than you think. Mirroring is one of the deepest psychological indicators of emotional rapport. It happens when people feel connected, when their nervous systems trust each other. It's the body's way of blending two energies into one rhythm. Most men overlook it because they're too focused on words. But real attraction rarely begins with words. It begins with emotional signals. The truth is, when a woman starts mirroring you, she's trying to bridge the distance without stepping into full vulnerability. She wants you to notice without forcing the moment. She's inviting you in without saying a word. This is where emotional intelligence becomes power, not power to control, but power to understand. You don't need to analyze every move or obsess over every gesture. You just need to be present. When she mirrors your body language, it's her way of saying, "We're on the same page, that's rare, that's beautiful," and it's a window you don't want to miss. The key is not to overreact. Don't suddenly shift to test her. Don't try to force more mirroring, just stay grounded. Let the rhythm continue naturally. Trust that what you're seeing is real. A woman who mirrors you is showing interest in the safest way she knows how. She may not feel ready to say it out loud, but she feels it. She's allowing herself to connect without exposing herself too much. That's not shyness, that's strength. She's letting her guard down, slowly, carefully, because something about you makes her feel calm, seen, and aligned. And if you honor that unspoken message with patience and presence, the connection will deepen. Most men chase after loud signs and miss the quiet truths. But the ones who pay attention, the ones who feel instead of forcing, they become unforgettable. They become the men who don't need to impress because they already understand. You can be that man. You already have the instinct. That's why you're here, so trust it. When she mirrors your energy, it's not a coincidence. It's a message, and now you know how to read it. Keep listening, keep feeling. Every signal you understand brings you closer to a new kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't chase love but attracts it effortlessly. Your awareness is your superpower. Let it guide you forward. The eyes don't lie. They speak what the mouth is too afraid to say. When a woman is secretly drawn to you, her eyes will keep coming back to you, even when she tries to look away. It's not always a stare. It's not always a direct gaze. Sometimes it's a flicker, a moment, a glance she hopes you don't notice, followed by a quick turn of her head. But you felt it, and if you feel it more than once, it's not just in your head. Her attention keeps circling back to you because something in you keeps pulling her in. This isn't about staring contests or forced eye contact. This is about emotional gravity. Her mind may be telling her to stay cool, stay calm, stay guarded, but her attention betrays her because attraction isn't always a conscious decision. It's an emotional response. And when a woman finds herself repeatedly looking your way, it means your presence is affecting her. You're not just part of the room, you've become the focus of her curiosity. Her energy keeps tracking yours because something inside her feels something around you. Her gaze is drawn by instinct, not logic. Eye contact is one of the most powerful emotional connectors between human beings, not because it's bold, but because it's honest. When someone allows their eyes to rest on you, even briefly, it's a moment of psychological exposure. It's a sign of trust. And when those moments repeat, they start to form a pattern that whispers, I see you, I feel you, I'm wondering if you feel it too. And that's not something to overlook. That's a door opening, even if only slightly. Don't ignore those glances. Don't dismiss those looks. They're not meaningless. They're signals, quiet, careful, vulnerable signals. She may not be ready to speak her heart, but her eyes are speaking first. And the way you respond in those moments can change everything. Hold her gaze when it happens. Not with pressure, not with performance, just with presence. Let her know that you're not afraid to see her, that you're grounded enough to be seen, that you're available, not just physically, but emotionally. This is the difference between guessing and knowing, between chasing and attracting. You're not here to convince anyone. You're here to recognize connection when it's real. When her eyes find you more than once, when her glances linger a heartbeat longer than they should, that's not nothing. That's interest. That's hope wrapped in hesitation. That's a heart testing the waters. And now you don't need to wonder. You're learning the language that most people never take time to understand. You're becoming fluent in emotional awareness. And that makes you powerful in the most important way, not just with others, but with yourself. The more you trust what you feel, the more magnetic you become. Stay present, stay centered. The signs are getting louder, and you're finally ready to hear them. When a woman is drawn to you, she will often try to be near you, even when there's no obvious reason to be. She may not say it out loud, but her actions will slowly begin to orbit your presence. She finds ways to be close, not too close to make it obvious, but close enough to feel connected. You'll notice it in the way she chooses the seat near you, how she lingers a little longer when the conversation ends, or how she always happens to show up where you are. That's not chance. That's emotional gravity, pulling her toward where she feels most alive. Proximity speaks louder than words. It's a primal language. When someone wants to feel safe, inspired, or connected, they move closer to the source of that feeling. Her body will follow what her heart wants, even if her mind is still cautious. And you must be awake enough to notice it. This is more than physical presence. It's emotional positioning. She's choosing to stay within your energy, to feel your presence, without demanding your attention. That's a quiet form of courage. She wants to be seen but not exposed. She wants to belong near you without risking rejection. So she moves in small steps, hoping you'll feel what she's not yet ready to say. Pay attention to patterns, not moments. One moment can be coincidence. Patterns are signals. If she consistently places herself within your physical space, if her path always seems to cross yours, if her energy lingers when others have already moved on, there's a reason. She's testing the space between you, wondering if you'll notice, wondering if you'll respond. This is how many women show interest, through presence, not pressure. It's not bold, but it's real, and it matters. Don't make the mistake of thinking someone has to spell it out to be sincere. Emotional intelligence means seeing what's hidden behind the hesitation. She's not unsure because she lacks interest. She's unsure because she's deciding if it's safe to let you in. And safety begins with attention. If you can feel her nearness, if you can acknowledge her presence, not with desperation, but with calm confidence, you begin to create the space where connection grows. This is how attraction often begins. Not with fireworks, but with footsteps. Silent steps toward a feeling that can't be ignored. When she chooses to be near you, time after time, she's telling you something important. You matter. And when you recognize that truth, when you trust what her actions are saying, you no longer need to force anything. You simply show up fully, respond with quiet awareness, and allow the bond to unfold. This is what separates the average from the extraordinary. Most will miss the signs. You won't, because now you see the movement. You feel the rhythm. You understand that presence is a choice. And when someone chooses to be near you again and again, it's not noise, it's signal. And it's your invitation to rise. Attraction doesn't always speak in seriousness. Sometimes it reveals itself through laughter, sarcasm, and playful challenge. When a woman teases you gently, she's not trying to belittle you. She's creating emotional contrast. She's inviting you into a shared experience where tension and comfort meet. Teasing isn't a rejection. It's often a subtle test. A soft, smiling way to ask, "Can you handle me? Can you meet me in this space of playful energy without losing your center?" It's her way of creating connection that feels safe, light, and real. Playful teasing is a sign of emotional comfort. It shows that she's relaxed enough around you to be herself. There's no pressure to impress, no need for perfection. Just two people meeting in the space between boundaries and boldness. If she makes a sarcastic comment, gives you a funny nickname, or pokes fun at something small, it's not an attack. It's intimacy in disguise. It's her way of breaking the ice without risking full vulnerability. Because behind that playful jab is a deeper question. Will you play back? Will you stay solid, or will you fold? What matters isn't the words, it's the energy behind them. When the teasing feels lighthearted, when her smile reaches her eyes, when the laughter lingers, she's showing that you've sparked something inside her. And instead of shutting it down with awkwardness or overreaction, you meet it with steady confidence. You laugh with her. You give her space to express herself without judgment. You stay emotionally grounded. That's how connection builds. Not through control, but through mutual rhythm. This is emotional agility, the ability to stay light without losing depth. The strength to respond with presence, not ego. When you embrace this kind of interaction, you communicate something powerful. You're not intimidated by her energy. You welcome it. You're not thrown off by her boldness. You're steady. And that steadiness is magnetic, because it tells her something deeper than words ever could. It tells her that she can be fully herself around you and still feel safe. Most people overlook teasing because they take it at face value, but emotion lives beneath the surface. When someone playfully challenges you, they're often trying to pull you closer, to see what you're made of, to feel if you'll still be there when the energy shifts from fun to real. And if you hold that space with calm and warmth, you create something rare, emotional freedom. The kind of space where attraction isn't forced, it flows. You don't need to perform. You don't need to outwit her. You only need to stay present, enjoy the moment, and trust the connection. When she teases, she's reaching out. When you respond with grounded joy, you reach back. And that simple exchange, lighthearted, honest, unguarded, is the spark of something bigger. Keep watching. Keep feeling. You're learning how connection works in the real world. And with every moment, you're becoming the kind of man who doesn't miss the signs. When a woman remembers the little things you've said, those small passing details you barely thought mattered, it's not a coincidence. It's attention. It's care. It's a quiet kind of investment. Because memory is emotional. We remember what moves us, what impacts us, what makes us feel something. If she recalls the way you take your coffee, your favorite song, or that one story you told weeks ago, she's not just listening, she's holding pieces of you. That means you're occupying space in her mind, and more importantly, in her heart. Most people forget what doesn't matter to them. But when someone makes an effort to remember, it's a signal of value. She's noticing what others overlook. She's storing your words because they mean something. That's not casual. That's emotional awareness. And when that awareness is consistent, it builds connection. Not in loud declarations, but in soft, intentional moments. It's easy to remember the obvious, but when she remembers the quiet, the subtle, the seemingly unimportant, she's showing you where her focus is, and her focus is on you. This is how emotional bonds begin, not always through big experiences, but through the gentle accumulation of moments, one remembered detail at a time. She's paying attention to the way you think, what you care about, what makes you laugh, and what lights you up. That's not something people do when they're indifferent. That's something people do when they're drawn in, when curiosity turns into care, when interest becomes a form of emotional generosity. And what does that tell you? It tells you that you don't need to be loud or flashy to make an impact. You don't need to impress with grand gestures. Sometimes your presence, your truth, your honesty, those are enough, because the right person isn't looking for performance. They're looking for connection. Real, unforced, felt. And when someone takes the time to remember you, they're showing you that the connection already exists, even if it hasn't been spoken yet. It's not your job to chase love. It's your job to recognize when love starts speaking in the background, when it shows up through the way someone recalls the words you thought were forgettable. That's how you know you've touched someone without trying. That's how you know your authenticity is doing the work for you. The more you notice these moments, the more empowered you become. You start to see the truth behind the surface. You stop questioning your worth because the signs are clear. When she remembers, she's revealing. When she brings up what you said, she's reaching out again. And you don't need to push. You just need to receive, fully, gratefully, confidently. You're becoming fluent in a language most people ignore. And that awareness is not just about connection. It's about awakening. You're no longer walking blind. You're tuned in, focused, ready. This is how love grows, in the spaces where presence meets attention. And you're exactly where you need to be. Keep listening. The signals are only getting clearer. When a woman opens up about her deeper thoughts, her fears, her past, or the things that make her vulnerable, she's not just talking, she's trusting. That trust doesn't come easily. It's not handed out casually. It's earned through presence, patience, and the quiet strength to hold space for someone else's truth without judgment. When she begins to reveal parts of herself that most people never see, she's giving you a glimpse of something sacred, her inner world. That's not flirtation. That's connection in its rawest, most human form. Emotional openness is a risk. It's an act of courage. And when a woman chooses to take that step with you, even in small ways, it means she feels something real. She feels a pull toward honesty, toward closeness, toward the kind of bond that goes far beyond appearances. She's testing the waters to see if you can meet her there, not just physically, but emotionally. Can you handle her truth? Can you hold it gently, without trying to fix it or control it? If she senses that you can, she leans in further, and what begins as a conversation becomes a connection that transforms you both. You don't need to say much when this happens. You don't need to solve anything. You just need to listen, not with your ears, but with your presence, with your eyes, with your energy, because what she's really searching for isn't answers, it's safety. Safety to be seen, to be known, to be understood. When you offer that, something powerful awakens. Her defenses soften, her walls lower, and in that space, trust takes root. Most people are starving for real connection. They hide behind surface talk, afraid to show what's underneath. But when someone chooses to be real with you, that's not weakness. That's a rare kind of strength. She's letting go of control just enough to let you see who she really is. And if you see her clearly, if you meet her without flinching, you become someone unforgettable. Not because you said the right thing, but because you felt the right thing. This is emotional intimacy at its purest. The meeting of two people who aren't pretending, performing, or playing games. It's the kind of closeness that doesn't just feel good. It builds trust, loyalty, and love that lasts. And you don't get there by accident. You get there by being present, being steady, and being willing to hold someone's truth with quiet strength. So when she opens up, pay attention. Not just to her words, but to what it took for her to say them. That's not a small moment. That's a door opening, and the way you walk through it says everything about the kind of man you are becoming. This is not about being perfect. It's about being real, being grounded, being ready. Because when someone trusts you with their truth, they're giving you a chance to build something rare, and you are ready for it. Attraction has a direction. The human body is constantly revealing where the heart is focused, even when the mouth stays silent. When a woman is drawn to you, her body doesn't drift away. It orients toward you. Her shoulders, her feet, her posture will naturally align with your presence. Not forced, not staged, instinctive. It's how the subconscious signals interest. It's how the body leans into what feels emotionally safe, curious, or captivating. And most miss it because they're too distracted by words. But the truth always lives beneath the surface. This isn't about how close she stands. It's about where she aims her energy. You could be in a group conversation surrounded by others, yet her attention is silently fixed on you. Her torso subtly turns your way. Her feet point in your direction. Her physical stance mirrors a quiet question. Are you noticing this? Do you feel it too? This is the language of intent. It's not loud, but it's clear. Her body is giving away what her lips may not yet have the courage to speak. When a woman orients herself towards you repeatedly, she's making a choice. A psychological one. She's choosing where her focus lands. In a world of distractions, that's not accidental. It means you have her attention, even if only in brief moments, and that attention is sacred, because where we direct our body, we direct our emotional energy. Her posture is a reflection of what feels emotionally alive. And if that direction is you, there's no stronger cue to pay attention. The beauty of this signal is its honesty. It can't be rehearsed. It's not a performance. It's not something she can fake for long. The body always reorients itself to what feels real. And when you learn to read these physical cues, you move differently. You carry yourself with quiet confidence, not because you're guessing, because you're tuned in. You see the subtle lean. You notice the shift in posture. You feel her presence aligning with yours. And that awareness gives you power, not over her, but over your own energy, your own next step. The goal isn't to analyze, it's to recognize, to trust what you see, to respond with the calm certainty of someone who understands the deeper layers of connection. When her body faces you, she's signaling emotional readiness, a willingness to engage, a desire to be seen. And your job is simple. Meet that energy with respect, presence, and strength. Let her know you see it, not with words, with steady eye contact, with relaxed posture, with attention that says, I'm here with you. You don't need to force attraction. You just need to stop missing it. Most overlook the signs because they expect them to be louder. But the most powerful signals are the quietest ones. And when you learn to read direction over distance, intention over noise, you become someone who doesn't just chase love, you understand it. And understanding is the beginning of everything. Laughter reveals more than amusement. It reveals comfort, connection, and emotional safety. When a woman laughs more around you, even when the moment doesn't demand it, she's expressing something deeper than humor. She's showing you how she feels in your presence. Real laughter isn't just about what's funny. It's about who makes you feel free. It's the body's release of tension. It's the spirit signaling, I feel good here. I feel light here. I want to stay in this energy. And that energy, if you pay attention to it, will tell you more than words ever could. Most people associate laughter with entertainment, with clever lines or jokes that land well. But the psychology of laughter tells a different story. We laugh hardest when we feel most alive, when we feel most connected, when the wall between two people starts to lower. If she finds herself giggling around you, if her smile comes quicker and her eyes shine brighter in your presence, it's not just because of what you're saying, it's because of how you're making her feel. And feelings never lie. Laughter is the sound of trust forming. It's the melody of openness. When she lets herself laugh, she's letting go of the need to be guarded. She's allowing herself to be real. And if that laughter happens most often with you, you've become something important, a source of emotional relief, a place where she can breathe, and people are drawn to where they can breathe. That pull she feels toward you isn't about logic. It's about emotion. It's about the rare experience of being fully present with someone who doesn't demand, who doesn't pressure, but who simply allows. Don't underestimate the power of ease, the moments when she lets out a laugh and glances at you afterward to see if you're enjoying it too. That glance is her seeking connection. That smile is her way of saying, this moment feels different. You feel different. And that difference is everything. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's meaningful because it shows that your presence makes her feel better, lighter, more herself. That's attraction on its most genuine level. You don't need to be the funniest person in the room. You don't need to perform. You just need to be real. Let your calmness give her space to be playful. Let your grounded energy invite her laughter out of hiding. And when it comes, meet it, smile back, hold eye contact. Let her know she's safe to be joyful around you. These are the moments that matter, the ones where joy enters without warning, when laughter becomes the language of connection, when ease becomes the bridge to something deeper. Most miss it because they're searching for intensity, but love often begins in lightness. And when her laughter finds you again and again, it's not by accident. It's alignment. You've become her peace, and peace is the beginning of love's most honest form. Curiosity is connection in motion. When a woman starts asking about your life, not out of politeness, but with genuine interest, she's reaching for something more than information. She's trying to understand what drives you, what shapes you, what matters to you beneath the surface. These questions are not random. They're emotional signals. Each one is a step closer, a quiet attempt to build a bridge between your world and hers. And if you're paying attention, you'll see that behind every question is a deeper message. You are not just seen. You are valued. Real curiosity is never casual. It's intentional. When she asks about your childhood, your dreams, your beliefs, or the challenges you've overcome, she's not making small talk. She's opening a door. She wants to explore what kind of man you are when no one's watching. She wants to feel the substance behind your presence. That kind of attention isn't about gathering facts. It's about feeling depth. She's listening not only to what you say, but to how you say it. She's watching the light in your eyes when you speak about something meaningful. That light is what she's drawn to. This is where real emotional intimacy begins, not through seduction, but through sincere interest. When someone wants to understand your mind and your story, it means they care about more than the moment. They're not just passing time, they're investing energy. That energy has weight, it has purpose, it has emotion behind it, and it deserves to be met with presence. Because curiosity is a gift. It's a sign that someone sees value in your journey and wants to walk part of it with you. Don't overlook the impact of this kind of attention. When she asks questions, she's also watching your response. She wants to know if you're open, if you're real, if you're emotionally available. Not just for her, but for yourself. Because the way you share reveals your relationship with your own truth. And that matters. When you speak from a place of grounded honesty, when you let her into your thoughts without needing to impress, you create the conditions for something rare, trust without performance. The world is full of surface-level connections. But a woman who's truly interested in your heart, in your thinking, in your growth, that's not ordinary. That's a sign of something beginning to bloom, something honest, something alive. And it's not about how much you reveal. It's about how present you are when you reveal it. You don't need perfect answers. You just need truth. Calm, confident, unfiltered truth. That's what creates emotional gravity. This is how bonds are formed. Not through force, but through focused attention. Through the unspoken language of questions that come from the soul, not the script. When she's curious, she's inviting connection. When you respond with authenticity, you're accepting that invitation. And in that exchange, something powerful is born. Something that doesn't fade when the moment ends. Something that lingers, grows, and quietly becomes unforgettable. Effort speaks louder than compliments. When a woman is attracted to you, one of the most overlooked yet powerful signs is the subtle shift in how she presents herself when she knows you'll be around. It's not vanity, it's vulnerability, it's not performance, it's presence. When she fixes her hair, adjusts her outfit, adds a little extra care to her appearance, it's not for the world, it's for the one who makes her feel seen. And if that one is you, you need to understand what that truly means. It takes emotional energy to prepare for someone. When she spends time thinking about how she looks, it's often because how she feels around you matters. Her reflection becomes more than a mirror. It becomes a canvas for expression. It becomes a message she's silently crafting. I want you to notice me. I want you to feel something when you see me. I want to be at my best for the person who brings something alive in me. That's not shallow. That's deeply human. That's what people do when they care. Pay attention to the small adjustments. The way she checks her reflection when you walk in, the way she smooths her sleeve or tucks her hair behind her ear. These are not accidents. They are instinctive responses rooted in emotional awareness. It's her way of managing the energy she feels when you're near, her way of communicating interest without speaking a word. You are not just another face in the room. You are a stimulus, an emotional presence she's preparing for. This is about more than attraction. This is about significance. Because we only put effort into what we value. We only seek to impress where we feel potential. And when she chooses to enhance how she appears around you, even in subtle ways, she's signaling that your opinion carries weight. Your gaze matters. Your presence shifts something inside her, and that's a sign of real connection beginning to unfold. You don't need to comment on it. You don't need to make it obvious. You only need to notice. And when you do, when you feel the energy behind that effort, respond with presence, with appreciation in your eyes, with stillness in your spirit. Show her, not through compliments, but through consistency, that she doesn't need to try so hard to matter to you. That her effort is beautiful, but her essence is what holds your attention. Real attraction is not just about physical appearance, it's about the intention behind it. It's about the way someone silently prepares their heart, their look, their energy for the one who stirs something in them. When she does that for you, recognize it for what it is, emotional investment. A quiet, vulnerable gesture that speaks volumes, and when you respond with steady, respectful attention, you invite even more of her truth to come forward. That's how connection deepens. Not through words, but through awareness. And you're finally starting to see what most never do. Some of the strongest signals are not loud. They are soft, consistent, and easy to miss if you're not paying attention. One of those signals is availability. When a woman genuinely likes you, she becomes emotionally and physically more available to you. She finds ways to spend time around you, even when there's no clear reason. She replies quicker, stays longer, listens more. Her schedule, which may have seemed full to others, suddenly has space for you. That space isn't accidental, it's intentional, and it's the clearest indicator that you matter. Time is the most precious resource any human has. We all guard it, protect it, and give it to what we care about most. If she gives you her time, not once, but often, she's not just being nice. She's investing something sacred. She's letting you know, without having to say it out loud, that your presence in her life is important, that you're someone she doesn't just tolerate, but someone she prioritizes. And that kind of consistent presence is never random. It's rooted in attraction. When someone is drawn to you, they start rearranging life in quiet ways to make room. They don't wait for you to ask. They anticipate. They show up. They linger. The conversation never feels rushed. The goodbye always takes longer than it needs to. The moments stretch because they're choosing to stay in your energy just a little bit longer. That's emotional gravity. That's connection in motion. That's someone who wants to be close even when there's no obvious reason to be. Many men overlook this. They chase grand declarations and miss the deeper cues. But love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And when a woman quietly keeps showing up for you, responding to texts with warmth, listening with patience, being near when you least expect, it's not just coincidence. It's commitment without labels. It's affection without pressure. And that is powerful. When you see this happening, honor it. Don't take it for granted. Don't assume it's casual. Because availability is a form of emotional intimacy. It means she's lowering her walls. It means she feels safe around you. Enough to be open, enough to be herself. And when someone feels safe, that's when real connection begins to grow. Your role isn't to question her intentions. Your role is to meet her openness with clarity. Let your own availability reflect back her effort. Be present, be engaged. Let her know in both subtle and sincere ways that you see the time she gives you and it's not wasted. That her presence has value to you, not just in moments of convenience, but consistently. When two people create space for each other, something rare begins to form. Not just chemistry, but trust. Not just interest, but alignment. And that alignment is what builds relationships that last, the kind that are built, not forced, the kind that begin in quiet moments and change everything. Attention is a currency, and when she gives it to you fully, without distractions, she's saying more than words ever could. In a world full of noise, split screens, and scattered minds, to give someone undivided attention is a rare form of intimacy. When she listens not just with her ears, but with her eyes, her posture, her stillness, that is connection. That is presence. And presence is the clearest sign that her feelings are rooted in something real. There is a difference between hearing and listening. One is surface, the other is soul. If she leans in, maintains eye contact, reacts to your emotions, remembers what you say, she's not just being polite. She's invested. She's absorbing your words because they matter to her. Your experiences become part of her mental landscape. Your emotions begin to shape her responses, and that only happens when someone genuinely cares. Because we only tune in fully when we want to understand, not just hear. This kind of attentiveness reveals more than interest. It reveals emotional intelligence. She's not just focused on your words, she's sensing your energy. She's paying attention to your silences, your hesitations, your excitement, your doubts. That's what someone does when they feel something deep, but might not yet have the words for it. They study the person who stirs those feelings. They want to know you, not just through facts, but through feeling. That kind of attention is rare, it's deliberate, and it's a reflection of attraction rooted in emotional depth. Don't overlook the power of being fully seen. When someone gives you their attention, uninterrupted and unforced, they're offering something sacred. And when a woman does this consistently, especially in moments when she could be elsewhere, it's not just good manners, it's devotion in disguise. Her body language opens, her distractions fade, and her focus locks in. She isn't there for the world, she's there for you, and that level of presence doesn't happen without intention. This is why it matters to be present in return. When you notice her attention, respond with gratitude, not entitlement. Let her know that you value her presence, not just her beauty or her gestures, but her ability to connect. Make her feel that her effort to be mentally and emotionally close is not invisible, that her attention has an impact, that you feel it deeply. Because when someone feels heard and seen in return, emotional trust begins to grow. And trust is the foundation of everything lasting. If you've ever questioned whether someone really likes you, look at how they listen. Look at how they engage when you speak. It's in the pauses they honor. It's in the way they wait for your words. It's in the way they light up when you open up. Presence doesn't lie, and when it's there, consistently and silently, it means something profound is already in motion. You're not just being heard, you're being chosen, one quiet moment at a time. Affection has many languages, but the human touch speaks the loudest without ever saying a word. When a woman likes you, even secretly, her body reaches out in subtle ways. She finds reasons to be close, a gentle brush on the arm, a playful nudge, the way she doesn't move away when you sit near her. These are not accidents. They're micro-expressions of deeper feelings. The body knows before the mind admits, and touch becomes a bridge between what's felt and what's unspoken. Most people underestimate the power of physical proximity, but psychology is clear. When we're drawn to someone, we instinctively seek nearness. We lean in when they speak. We mirror their movements. We orient our bodies toward them. These behaviors are unconscious. They reveal comfort, trust, and desire. If she's subtly closing the distance, she's not doing it by mistake. She's inviting connection. She's letting her guard down, not in dramatic ways, but in small, consistent moments that speak louder than compliments ever could. Pay attention to how she moves around you. When you enter a room, does she gravitate in your direction without even realizing? Does she maintain closeness, even when the setting allows for space? When a woman is comfortable with you, when she wants to feel more than friendship, she makes her body a signal, and that signal is safety. It says, "You're welcome here." It says, "This closeness feels right." That's not chemistry forced by words. That's biology responding to emotional truth. But this isn't just about flirtation. It's about energy. When someone respects and appreciates your presence, their energy softens around you. Their physical space becomes warmer, more open. She might not even be aware of how often she touches her hair when talking to you, or how often her feet point in your direction, or how her arms remain relaxed rather than crossed. These details seem small, but they hold weight. They reveal where her attention lives. And attention reveals intention. What matters most is consistency. One moment of closeness could mean anything, but repeated signals, unconscious patterns, that's where truth lives. If she shows physical comfort around you more than anyone else, if she allows that closeness without pulling back, that's not just comfort. It's invitation. It's vulnerability without words. And it's one of the most beautiful forms of emotional honesty a person can offer. Respect her pace. Respond with presence, not pressure. When someone begins to open their physical space to you, it's a sign of deepening trust. Don't rush it. Don't make it transactional. Let it breathe. Let it build naturally. Because when connection moves from thought to touch, from tension to ease, you're witnessing real alignment. And when a woman chooses to be close, not just physically but emotionally, she's already telling you something powerful. She feels safe, seen, and drawn to something deeper than words. That's not a game. That's real. That's rare. And that's worth paying attention to. Not all signs come in the form of touch or words. Sometimes the clearest sign is how often she initiates. When someone is drawn to you, they don't just respond, they reach out. They create moments instead of waiting for them. A woman who secretly likes you may not confess it outright, but her consistent effort to be part of your world reveals what her heart is still hiding. If she texts you first, finds reasons to talk, shares something just to start a conversation, those are not coincidences. They are quiet acts of courage dressed as casual gestures. Initiation isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a simple meme, a shared memory, a question about your day. She's not doing it for attention. She's doing it because thinking about you has become part of her daily rhythm. You cross her mind, and instead of holding back, she reaches forward. That's a deeper kind of vulnerability, one that isn't always recognized, but always meaningful. People don't reach out just to pass time. They reach out to people who matter. It takes emotional energy to initiate, to message first, to ask how you're doing, to remember something you said and follow up. These moments seem small, but they are rooted in thoughtfulness. If she's initiating, it means you're on her mind even when you're not around. That's not just interest, it's investment. She doesn't want the connection to fade. She wants to nurture it. And that comes from a place of genuine care. Many people are afraid to be the first to show interest. Fear of rejection silences what the heart wants to say. So when someone does reach out first, consistently, it means they've chosen courage over comfort. They're not doing it for validation. They're doing it because something about you pulls them in. They want to hear your voice. They want to be in your orbit. And every time she initiates, she's silently saying, I want to matter to you. If you've ever doubted your worth, look closely at how people show up in your life without being asked. If she's there without needing a reason, she's already giving you the answer. You don't have to chase someone who is genuinely interested. They show up. They stay, they reach out, not once, not twice, but in a pattern that feels sincere and steady. That's how affection becomes real. You are not too much to reach out to. You are not a burden to be thought of. You are worthy of being missed, remembered, and pursued. And when a woman chooses to initiate with you, even in the smallest ways, you are witnessing her willingness to be emotionally seen. Don't take that for granted. Don't dismiss it as nothing. It takes bravery to care first. It takes vulnerability to start. And when someone chooses that path, it's because they see something in you that's worth the risk. Honor that. It's more than a message. It's a mirror of what's growing underneath. Sometimes the truth hides in her eyes, not the words she speaks or the actions she takes, but in those fleeting, unguarded moments when she looks at you like the world fades away. Eye contact isn't just a glance. It's a form of connection more honest than anything spoken. When a woman holds your gaze just a second longer than necessary, she's not just looking, she's seeing. And that difference matters because people don't lock eyes with someone they want to avoid. They don't search someone's face unless they're drawn to what they find there. There is an entire language behind the eyes, a language of curiosity, admiration, vulnerability. A woman who secretly likes you may not always have the courage to voice it, but her eyes will betray the truth. You'll catch her watching you when she thinks you're not paying attention. Her gaze will soften when you speak. She'll linger in those moments not because she has to, but because she wants to. Her attention is voluntary. It's fueled by interest and held by emotion, and that makes it powerful. In psychology, prolonged eye contact can create emotional closeness. It activates a sense of trust, of familiarity. It triggers the brain to feel connection, even intimacy. That's why it's rare. That's why most people avoid it. It makes them feel exposed. But when someone maintains that contact, it means they feel safe. And if she looks into your eyes without fear, she's already letting her guard down. That's not surface attraction. That's emotional openness. When someone cares, their eyes will search for reassurance, for meaning. They'll watch your reaction, your expressions, your silences. Because it's not just about seeing you, it's about understanding you. If you notice her looking at you like she's studying more than your face, she's looking for signs that you feel the same. She's wondering if you see her too, if her silent emotions are being heard without a word. That's the depth most people miss. But you don't have to, because once you recognize it, you realize she's not hiding. It's just that her affection shows in quieter ways. The eyes never lie. They're the first to reveal attraction, the last to forget someone they care about. And if her eyes speak more than her voice ever could, listen. Don't look away. Hold that space. Return it with presence. Because in that space, something real is forming. It's fragile, it's silent, but it's honest. You are not imagining it. You're not reading too much into it. When someone keeps returning to your eyes, it's because you hold something they want to feel closer to. You don't need to chase it or second guess it. Just see it for what it is. Recognition, affection, hope. And when you meet that gaze with your own clarity, something unspoken becomes understood. Two hearts exchanging truth, wordlessly, powerfully. There's a quiet beauty in the way someone mirrors you when they care. It's almost invisible, yet deeply revealing. When a woman secretly likes you, her body unconsciously responds to yours. She starts to move in sync with your rhythm. She reflects your posture, your tone, even your energy. Not to mimic, but to connect. It's a subconscious alignment driven by emotional resonance. Because when we feel drawn to someone, our minds crave harmony. We want to be in tune. We want to feel what they feel. And so the body follows the heart's desire. Mirroring is not an act, it's a signal. A sign that she's not just observing, she's experiencing something with you. If you lean in, she might too. If you fold your arms, her body may unconsciously echo the stance. When you laugh, she smiles more easily. When you're calm, she relaxes. These aren't rehearsed moves. They're instinctive expressions of emotional rapport. And that's what makes them powerful. They happen when she's not trying to impress. They happen because her mind is emotionally attuned to yours. This kind of mirroring isn't about imitation. It's about connection. Research shows that when people feel emotionally close, their body language syncs. Their hearts literally begin to beat at the same pace. This isn't romance in theory, it's biology in action. So when she starts to reflect your physical cues, it's not just coincidence. It's attraction seeking closeness. Her subconscious is saying, I feel safe with you. I feel drawn to your presence. I want to be aligned with your energy. And you'll notice it not just in movement, but in the little harmonies between you. The way she nods when you speak, signaling understanding. The way her breathing slows when yours does, matching your calm. The way she unconsciously leans in when you're speaking from the heart. These are gestures that go deeper than words. They aren't always bold or obvious, but they're rooted in truth. She doesn't even know she's doing it, but her body is revealing what her voice won't say. When you spot this mirroring, don't ignore it. Don't dismiss it as accident. It's one of the most sincere, least filtered signs of emotional interest. It shows up when masks fall and presence becomes real. You've created a space where she can feel seen without pressure, heard without fear, connected without pretending. That's rare. That's magnetic. And if you sense it, feel it, and value it, you've already stepped into a bond that's forming beneath the surface. Real connection doesn't need grand gestures. It lives in these quiet echoes between two people. And when you recognize it, you begin to understand how deeply someone can care, even in silence. Mirroring is a whisper of the heart saying, I'm here with you. I feel this too. Let it guide you. Let it show you what's real. Let it open your eyes to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, she's been feeling what you've been hoping all along.